Hello, Facebook ads people. I'm Konstantinos, and this is the Facebook ads breaking news podcast. Hey guys, I'm Konstantinos, and this is the Facebook ads breaking news podcast. Um, Another podcast. I think it's the fourth one, if I'm correct. Um, let's go and let's discuss a little bit about this week. This week it's the Black Friday. As you can see, I'm not seeing the light of the day. I'm working all day, sleeping minimum hours and stuff. If you remember the scene from the Minions that it was explaining about their masters and stuff. At some point they were at Comedy Dracula. I feel like every morning I'm waking up like this. I'm like a zombie. But, this is good because at the end of the day, it's making me better with Facebook ads. I understand more stuff. And that's good for me because apparently I'm making more money. But that's also good for you because I'm sharing everything with you, especially in these podcasts that we have the luxury and the time of talking more and more. So, what is happening this week with Black Friday? Guys, it's a very strong Black Friday. Every year, since I remember myself doing this, I was like, this Black Friday, I'm going to spend more. This Black Friday. And I'm trying to spend more on not being conservative and stuff. And it's every time the same thing. The next day, I'm waking up and I see, I should have spent more. And it's always like this because there are accounts that are spending 2-3K per day and you just spend 15K, 15K, 20K. And you see the results that are good and you say, I could have spent more. So I haven't cracked the code yet on how much you can spend, without any risk on Black Friday. I'm guessing a lot. I have accounts right now that they spend 60K per day. 2 accounts actually. And it's actually crazy. It's also very complex. It has a lot of different campaigns and it has a lot of methods from manual bidding to a lot of different things. So anyway, these are different cases and stuff. So this Black Friday looks like it's a very good Black Friday. I'm having very good results across accounts, but I must say that I'm seeing also some accounts not performing as what they should. Even though they are improved, but they are not performing in the same level as other accounts do. Most of the times, these accounts are accounts that they're not doing all the effort across all the channels and everything. In my opinion, if you're having a brand and you want to scale at some point, Facebook is not going to be only enough. So I'm seeing the brands that they're only focused on Facebook and they don't have proper email marketing or other stuff, that they cannot scale as the other brands are scaling, which are actually active in several platforms. They're doing email marketing, they're doing influencer marketing, all the kind of stuff. One last thing that came to my mind because of Black Friday, I was discussing with an owner, and I realized that there is one thing that most of the times we don't say because it's purely related with the businesses. The thing is that a lot of times when you are having a lot of high spends and stuff, you need to use a credit card when you are doing your ads. Why though? Because if you're using a credit card, you are getting benefits back and you're getting even chargebacks. I don't think that chargeback is the correct way to say it, but I think you understand what I'm talking about. With a credit card, you're getting also some of the money that you're spending back as a bonus. So it's very good to use credit cards because, in my way of thinking, if you're spending 50K or 100K or 500K per month on Facebook ads and you're getting bonuses back because of that spend, first of all, you can use it in many other areas in your company with the things that you have to do, that you can do. And the other thing is that you can actually lower your break-even ROAS with that way. Because if you're spending X amount of money, but in reality you're taking also back some, it's like Facebook is giving you credit. You can actually use that into your benefit, and you can actually lower your break-even ROAS and or make more money if you're profitable already. So this is one thing that I want to share with you. If you're not using credit cards and you're spending money on Facebook ads, you should, because you're going to get money back that you can throw back again to the marketing, or it's going to be your profit from that effort. Another thing, we discussed about Black Friday, but what is happening after Black Friday? If you remember, we were having this discussion about doing ads from the 15th, start having some evergreen campaigns that are going to run through the Black Friday period, and they're going to continue. And after that, we are going to also go through the process of going to the Christmas area after we close our ads. We also explained the concept of attack periods. We do consider Black Friday periods attack periods, which means that these are periods that supply and demand are not normal. It means that a lot of people are spending more money, but the demand is much higher. So there are, because Black Friday is not about the offers, just so you know, it's about the craziness that it's out there for people that they want to buy just because everybody buys, you know. We are humans. We like to follow the behavior of other people, the masses. So the situation here is this. In Black Friday, as we consider it an attack period, what you should do is you should try to scale your ad account to higher numbers, and then after the Black Friday period, you should try to maintain it or go even lower. For example, if you are spending 50K per month, you should try to go, and you're trying to scale, of course, and you cannot, because if you can scale, that's another thing. You're trying to scale, you cannot for 2-3 months, then you're having the Black Friday period, which is coming, and you can spend 120K, double your budget easily, and then try to maintain this budget of 100K or 90K for all the other months until you have your next attack period. By the way, one other attack period was the COVID period with the people staying inside their homes. On that point, I have scaled a lot of businesses. It was like another Black Friday, and I can tell you that this was also considered an attack period. So things are happening from time to time, and maybe for your business it's going to be a different attack period. Maybe you're selling gifts for Valentine's Day, okay? And this is your crazy Black Friday period and attack period that you can scale your account so that you can maintain it. Of course, if you're doing only that, you're having seasonal sales, but maybe you're having this and something else, so it can help you scale. Now, based on that, I need to tell you that my whole strategy about Black Friday was based on that this is an attack period and we can scale more because Facebook is going to let us spend more because the demand is higher. And now it's time to go to the second step of this plan, which is that now, after the end of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, okay, you can do extend until Wednesday, whatever. You can go and you can start lowering the budget. Of course, you're going to close all of your campaigns for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and so on. But you can start lower or keeping exactly the same budget for your evergreen campaigns that we have, and they're fueled with data so that we can move on up to the Christmas period. Up to the Christmas period, it's a period that a lot of people are buying and they're giving gifts to their loved ones. So I think that this is also a very good period for you to maintain budgets. So whatever you have planned in order for you to scale with your evergreen campaigns, now it's a time to actually try to maintain it and then go to January and February, which are also considered good months. Why is January a good month? Because in January, we have the Chinese New Year, and a lot of the e-commerce owners that are sourcing products from China, they stop or they lower their budget and the spending because they cannot get supply from China, and this means that you have less competition in the platform. A lot of times you will see that you will talk with people, other business owners or yourself, and you say that in January, February, I had very good results. In January, you had good results because of that, and in February, it kept going because the people started new ads and stuff, so they were not optimized, and you were running ads already on the whole January, being in a very good position. And then when the others also took data, March is always a little bit slower. So in that situation, I need to tell you that now After that, you're closing your Black Friday, Cyber Monday ads. You're continuing with your ads that you're having on the Evergreen. If you don't have, sadly, you will have to do new ads. And you didn't listen to me. You will have to start new ads now, which is going to be the ads that you're going to have for the Christmas or whatever. And a lot of times people, they have a strategy, which means that they are not having any new ads for 1 week after the Black Friday, because they believe that everybody bought and they're not going to buy or whatever. Or a lot of people, they just do ads straight away after Black Friday. I can tell you that I like to do zero ads. So my whole planning starts from the 15th of this month, and it goes through the Black Friday period. Maybe I'm going to do some Christmas ads after the 10th of December. But all my ads are there, and I'm just going to manage the budgets for all of my accounts, because I believe that I have fueled all of my campaigns with data now with Black Friday, and I'm going to continue after that up to the Christmas period. And that's my strategy. Maybe I'm going to do some small campaigns here and there, but that's it. And this is how you should do it, because whenever you're starting new ads, you're competing with the CPMs that they are with the people that they are starting ads on these days. And the truth is that a lot of people are not, using this kind of strategy, and they are going to have issues because they're going to launch ads when everybody's going to launch ads, and they're going to compete with different CPMs from my ads, which are going to have the CPMs that they had during this period with all of these good results. Now, I told you everything that I wanted about the Black Friday and what to do in the next steps. Let's discuss a little bit about an email because I want to discuss something from this email. This is an email that came from, it came a lot of times to my mail, because I have a lot of Facebook reps that they are sending me messages. It says, "Hi team, we're quickly approaching Cyber Week. Truly excited to see." By the way, this is also something else that I have seen. There are a lot of ads that they don't say Black Friday or Cyber Monday. They call it Cyber Week, so that they can run ads also on Black Friday, but also on Cyber Monday, without having any interruption, which is also a very good solution, instead of running some different ads for Cyber Monday or Black Friday because of your texting and everything. Truly excited to see how our strategy performs through the week. I want to flag a few things to keep in mind. By the way, all of them send the same message. It looks like it's personalized, but it's not. As we lead into one of the most competitive times on the platform, plus some best practices. As competition rises on the platform, so will CPMs and CPAs. This is normal and is to be expected to ensure we have our best foot forward. And then it has some bullet points. Now, they are preparing you for the fact that the CPMs are going to be higher, so that you won't be, you won't have any issues with that. But they also tell you that you should be patient. And they are kind of right. When you're running Black Friday ads, a lot of times, many people, they're afraid because they are getting out of their comfort zone of spending $500 per day. For example, they spend $2,000, $3,000. And for me, this is also, it's completely different of doing ads for your own money, and completely different of doing ads with someone else's money. I'm not saying that I'm not respecting the money of someone who is spending. I'm saying that I'm more free to do it. I'm not influenced, okay? I'm not watching the site, for example, to see the sales stuff. I'm more subjective. Not subjective. What's the other one? What's the opposite? Objective. I'm more objective. Objective, what kipinικός. I'm more objective. So sorry for the Greek. I had to be sure. So I'm more objective about the ads because at the end of the day, I'm not being influenced by watching the site, doing this and that. But we're going to discuss this later with another topic that I have. So over here, I can tell you that there are a lot of people that they do their ads and they're afraid a lot because they're spending more and they panic and stuff and they do stupid stuff. I think that you should wait 1 or 2 days. If you cannot, because this is too much money for you, spend less, and then try to scale during the period after you see some initial results. But closing campaigns, starting them and on the next day and stuff, I think it's going to make you lose money instead of making money. And I think that you should give 1-2 days. This is also the reason that I told you that you should start ads from the start of the week with early Black Friday access. It helps you correct mistakes and do stuff instead of starting your ads on the Black Friday day. Here it says, consider launching your promo 2-3 days prior to Black Friday. I'm even giving more days before that. And of course, many more days before for your evergreen campaigns. Your peak budget, at your peak budget, and allow it to run into the weekend. No changes to avoid re-entering into the learning phase during the heightened time. Ensure your bids are high enough to offset market competition. Okay. Eliminate any audience overlap. Don't do that. Don't do this stupid strategy with one ad and $5,000. It's stupid. It doesn't work. Then it says ensure audiences are large and 4+ placements are being used. So in their ads inside they say 6+ placements. I'm curious to see why they say 4+ placements here anyway. Try to reduce significantly edits made to the campaign prior to the peak moments to reduce risk of resetting to the learning phase. Yes. Given the dynamic nature of our auction and purchase behaviors, please do not panic if you're not seeing your desired results immediately. The most our machine learning is able to deliver with no disruptions, the better we'll be able to optimize and scale. CPMs may be high, but conversion rates and purchases should also be following along. So I kind of agree with this message in several aspects. I don't agree with consolidation for sure. This is something that Facebook is pushing a lot, and we will discuss it also later today. The other thing about the 2-3 days, I think you should have started a little bit earlier and stuff. But other than that, they're right. You should not panic. You should give it time. By time, I mean 1-2 days, not the whole weekend, as they say, because it's going to be too late. But anyway, I think we covered the topic about Black Friday enough. Now you know how it's working. And let me tell you that if you're afraid of Black Friday just because you're starting now, you're doing a very big mistake, and you're going to realize it the next year that you will say, why haven't I started the previous year? And this is something that a lot of people have done, and you should feel bad about it because you're losing an opportunity. But at the end of the day, let me tell you that Black Friday is a crazy period and a very good period, and it's going to help you a lot into your businesses in all of the years that are going to come, no matter what. No matter if Facebook is here or not, it's going to help you. Now, remember the other time that we were discussing about the agency and my client, and that he's coming back because the agency didn't do well and stuff. I have some more updates. And I have some other things to say about the agencies. First of all, I was the other day on the account, but I didn't want to be toxic, and go to the owner and tell him, look what they're doing and stuff. So I didn't say anything. He just texted me. I have seen this agency starting 2 campaigns, each campaign having $5,000 inside as a budget and 1 ad set, and several ads for creatives. So my way of thinking is this. First of all, you don't respect the money that you're spending. This is what I see. Second of all, maybe you're too busy and you're just doing 2 campaigns with 10K. That's it. 10K, it's my spend and stuff, and just 1 ad set. Consolidation. So I think that consolidation is something that Facebook is pushing, but consolidation is something that also agencies are pushing because it's helping them a lot to do the minimum effort. because it's completely different to work with my method of having several campaigns, CBO campaigns with a lot of ads inside, optimize, crazy methods, start lookalikes, all of these different things, and do a lot of things. And I'm going to go back a little bit and tell you how I would have done it or how I did it, because basically the owner closed all the ads after some initial results. We will go to that now. The thing is that when it goes to the point that you're spending so much money with just one ad set, it's something that it's really convenient also for you, because you can manage 100 accounts by just doing one campaign with one ad set and the creatives, which you are not doing. You're just the person that's doing the ads, and this is helping you a lot to manage 100 accounts. Are they truly believing in consolidation, or they are doing it because Facebook is saying so? It's in the good practices to do consolidation. Nobody can tell them that it's not okay, because they can come and tell you, but look, Facebook is proposing it. And maybe they're working with a model that they don't care about keeping clients like I do, and stack good clients that they're working with years with them. But they're working with a program that say, okay, we work for 1, 2 months, 3 months with someone, then another one, doing the minimum effort with one campaign and consolidation, and then move to another one. So it's mathematics, you know. You can be an extremely successful agency making money, not having results, of course, by doing it like that. And whoever is having a very strong account or a very strong brand which is going to work like this, okay, we are going to keep him more. So the thing is this, I think that the consolidation is not only pushed by Facebook, but it's pushed also by agencies, because it's helping them a lot. And I'm seeing tweets from famous agencies, I'm not going to name them, that they're saying that doing consolidation nowadays in Facebook ads is a must. It's not a must, it's something that's really convenient for you. And I know for a fact, by testing it in several accounts, and I have a lot of case studies in my YouTube channel with actual accounts, that I'm showing how bad consolidation is. And Facebook is talking about overlap of audience stuff. What I care about is the results that I see on the platform. Okay, and at the end of the day, having one campaign with 5,000 and one ad set inside doesn't make any sense, because even if you wanna take the consolidation method, let me tell you that this account is having $20 cost per purchase. On Black Friday, it would have lower. Why don't you do several campaigns to go through the learning phase with them? At the end of the day, the learning phase is 50 events, correct? You can catch the 50 events with, how much? Let's see. So if we do 20 multiplied by 50, 1,000. Why didn't you do 5 campaigns with 1,000 each instead of doing just one with 5,000? The extra data is not going to help you. So for me, all of this thing with consolidation is just an excuse. And there is no knowledge behind it or any technical information that's going to back up a campaign with $5,000 in just one ad set. At least for me, that I know better than that. So the other thing is that about the money being spent, I think that when you, and I discussed about it earlier, when you're spending the money of someone and you're spending $5,000 per day, you need to care about it. And I told earlier that it wouldn't be good for me if I spent 20K, for example. I used to do it. This is how I know. I'm being influenced. I'm being influenced by watching my Shopify store. I'm being influenced by doing this or that, or understanding if a sale came or didn't came, and I'm doing differently my optimization. I think that not being influenced by all of that and doing someone else doing the ads for you, it's very important, because it's helping you to have a peace of mind, and for someone to do it, of course, by someone else, I mean someone else that he's communicating with you, okay? You're working closely. The way that I work with my clients is one-on-one, very closely, to whoever they don't understand explaining, but most of my clients also, they have a technical knowledge of themselves on how the Facebook ads are working, and we're just having some debates here and there about things that we agree or disagree. The thing here is this: if you're not respecting the money of the other person, then this is problematic. And you need to respect the money like it's your money, but it's not super efficient for you to run your own ads because you're respecting your money too much. Okay? And we know that this is all about e-commerce, and e-commerce has also risk, like every business has a risk on it. So that's my point on respecting someone else's money, and this is what I get from the way that they're treating this. And I think that they just don't care because they're just going to move to another client and another client. The last thing that I want to say about this is that my strategy, at least, it was that, okay, let's take the Advantage Plus campaign that they programmed for 5K. Let's put it to 2K because they have only 5 ads inside. Let's do a crazy method with stacked lookalikes that they're not using at all because they're just doing some Advantage Plus with Broad. And then let's take this Advantage Plus is going to have 1,000. And then let's take another 1,000 campaign, which is going to do broad targeting. And then let's take another 1,000 campaign, which is going to do broad targeting, but this time we're going to have creatives with Black Friday copy. In the previous case, we had Black Friday copy and Black Friday creatives. And then let's do also another stack lookalikes with 1,000. And this time we're going to have Black Friday copy and the best working ads from the past, and so on. So doing different things instead of just doing one campaign, and having that. Why? Because it's going to help you minimize the risk. You're going to have a lot of different things to optimize and close. And I did several ads inside, of course, with the crazy method stuff. I didn't put 1,000 budget. I put 987.53, just so that the person from the agency is going to see the budget and they're going to start thinking, why is he putting this number? Why not 1,000? Okay, just to mess a little bit with their heads. And I put some number of ad sets like 37 or 34, just to mess up a little bit with their heads so that they can take their calculators and try to understand why I did this or that. Anyway, at least when I was doing it, I was having fun thinking of how much is going to confuse them. Last thing is that this agency, after 1 month, is fired. And the guy told me that they promised so many things and they did nothing at the end of the day, which is also another thing that I'm saying in a lot of my videos. If someone is promising something about Facebook ads, it's a 2-case scenario. Either they're clueless about the platform and they're just a salesperson that they want to close the deal, or they are crazy. And it's both of the situations are problematic. You should not work with people like this. Now, another thing that I have seen, sorry, I'm having a cough. Another thing that I have seen with the agency, and it ignites the conversation about how people are behaving on ad accounts, is that I was watching that it's always the same thing, the same pattern. And I don't know if it was because of the workload that they had and they didn't have time. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that this person has done the same thing all over again and again and again. Just one strategy. If it works with one account, it's fine. If it doesn't, it's fine. So for me, this is a huge issue because I think that when you're working with ad accounts, you need to adapt to it. You cannot just go and just implement whatever worked in your one account or two account that you have and they're working. You have to go and check their history. If they have something working, you can duplicate it with the crazy method and make it work again. You can apply all of my different methods. Maybe all of them are going to work. Maybe none of them is going to work, but you should try them. You should try to see different things in order for you to be able to actually do sustainable ads for the account without just pushing the agenda of one thing that you only know to do. If you know only one thing, just specialize in specific ad accounts, or keep telling to people that you're going to get them good results and just follow this one thing. And if it works, it works. So if you're having an ad account, watch my videos, test all of my different strategies, and try to see if you're going to find something that's going to work for you. The strategies are not there so that all of them are going to work. They are there, and there are different ways of thinking in order to find something that is going to work in some account. And the more of these strategies that are working, the better it's going to be for you. Now, I had a question the other time. It was about uploading emails. A lot of times there are people that they say that I know that this podcast, I'm going to cough a lot and it's going to be irritating for you, but let me drink some water. So there are people that they have new pixels and they say, but I have a very strong email list. And there are people that they are having pixel data and they say, okay, I'm going to upload my email list. Let me explain some things about the email list and the way that this is working. I'm Konstantinos, okay? And I'm going to buy from a store. Maybe I'm going to buy with Google email, but when I'm logging to my account in Facebook, I'm logging with Yahoo Mail. Just because I had a Yahoo Mail on my youth, okay? True story. So the thing is this: if I'm doing the purchase with a Google email, in the email list I'm going to be listed with my Google Mail. So when somebody is going to upload me as inside the list, I'm not going to be identified by Facebook. And this is what most people fail to and there are several other cases, okay? Like people going, for example, and they're buying with their PayPal immediately. Their PayPal can be different from the one that they're using for their ad account on Facebook. So, and so on and so on. So the situation here is this: if you're having this and you're having a pixel that is completely untrained, even if you upload a list, don't expect it to bring you crazy results and stuff. I have never seen it happening. The only way for a list to be so strong, it needs to be a very solid lead, a very solid list with a lot of emails that are actually okay, and maybe there are 100,000 emails, let's say, of actual buyers. I have seen one list like this working, even in a new pixel. The thing is that it's not only what is the data of the email list, but also if the pixel can actually accept it and work with it in a proper way. And I'm talking about creating a lookalike out of it and so on. So having a list with a good pixel, it's always better instead of starting a new instead of having a new pixel and an email list that you're going to upload. And let me tell you that a lot of times there are people that are super optimistic about their email list and how it's going to do, but it's not working. It's a problematic situation, and a lot of times they are disappointed because they believe that their email list should work immediately, but it doesn't. So keep this into your mind when you're playing with email lists. And just so you know, if you're having a new pixel and you just have an email list, a lot of times people think that 100 emails, for example, are okay. But let's say that you're having 20,000 mails. Keep in your mind that most probably it's not going to help you with a new pixel. It's going to be maybe a start here and there to help you, but at the end of the day, your pixel, if it's not strong enough, there is no email list that's going to help it, except from this one case that I had with 100,000 emails. I don't know how many there are. And there were also buyers. Oh, this is also important. It's completely different of having subscribers and completely different of having emails of people who actually purchased a product. And also it's completely different of having, a lot of times people are lying to themselves about a lot of things. So someone tells you I have 10,000 emails and they were selling a different product from the one that they're selling now. And they say that these are buyers and stuff, but because they say to themselves and they want to give courage to what they're doing, they're saying, okay, but I have a list of 10,000. No, you have a list of 10,000 people bought another product. It's completely different. Anyway, so be careful with mail lists, and let's go to our next topic. Yesterday I was having a discussion with a friend about Facebook ads, and sometimes I'm realizing that I'm doing things on the platform that I just thought in the past, and I'm just doing them now. And this is one case because, for example, there are some things like the optimization that I'm doing. which I'm doing because of experience, but sometimes with discussions with people, I'm trying to analyze why am I doing this, and then I understand that I have a reason behind it. And let me tell you the case about this discussion. So this discussion was all about delayed reporting. After the iOS came, we know that there is a delayed reporting on the purchases that they are coming, which can be up to 72 hours. And the thing with that is that I have realized that back in the days before iOS, I was optimizing even on the first or second day. Immediately on my CBO campaigns, most probably there are videos like this in my YouTube channel, I don't remember. No, it started after iOS, so you haven't seen that. You haven't seen that aggressive optimization. But there is inside the course one or two videos explaining the aggressive way. The thing is that after iOS we have a slower pace because we have delayed reporting up to 72 hours. So as I said in several videos on YouTube, we have to be more flexible in the way that we are optimizing because there might be sales over there which are not being shown. And I realize that one very important key metric now that I'm watching nowadays is the checkout, because the checkout is being reported immediately instead of the purchase. And the discussion here is this: why the checkout is being reported immediately and not the purchase? Shouldn't all of the data have delayed reporting? No. Let me tell you why. Facebook is working, as we said a lot of times, with the concept that I'm Konstantinos, I'm buying something, and then Facebook is going to find someone like Konstantinos, and then someone like Konstantinos and the other person, and so on. So what is happening here is that for the purchase event, it needs to also identify the person. It's not enough to just for someone to just buy and being listed as a sale. It needs to find the person because you're doing a conversion campaign and you're optimizing for the purchase event. On the checkout, it can just list and say there is a checkout that happened. Okay, and let me clarify here that we have the checkout, which is when you go from the add to cart to the checkout. This is the checkout button, and then we have the add payment info, which is one extra step, which is when people are adding their information inside. And of course, there are cases that you can have add to cart and not checkout because some people, they press the express PayPal option and they go straight away to the purchase. So the checkout is a very important metric because, for example, you might go one day and you might see 7 checkouts and 1 purchase. You should not close this ad. You should wait. And I can tell you for a fact, because I'm doing it for 1 year, that this is a very effective way of you optimizing optimizing your CBO campaigns. Because at the end of the day, with the delayed reporting of 72 hours on the United States, of course in Europe it's much less, I can tell you that it's helping me a lot, and I'm not losing a lot of assets that I shouldn't have closed, because the CBO optimization is a game of what am I keeping and what am I losing in order to make it better, not to make it worse. And if I'm closing assets that they have actually worked, then it's a problematic situation. And this is also a debate with the people that are talking about triple whale and Hyros, as we discussed in the previous podcast, which they are discussing about that because they don't have the technical knowledge to understand how to optimize even inside the platform with less data, because they are clueless and they just like to do one campaign with $5,000, I guess. Because if you do one campaign with $5,000, then you care about triple whale in order to see how many sales is getting in reality. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to do optimization anyway. So my way of thinking is completely different also in terms of optimization and how we're working within the platform with many people. And the problem is that this is not supporting triple whale and Hyros, but their way of thinking supporting triple whale and Hyros because it's also helping them because they're affiliated with them, and for every client they're also taking fees for convincing them to use triple whale or Hyros. But we discussed this on the previous podcast. So the thing here is that when you're optimizing for purchase event, Facebook needs to find also the ID of the person and identify them within the platform. Now, let's say that we were optimizing for checkout. Then we should watch the add to carts, the step behind that. Because if it was optimizing for checkouts, then Facebook would need to find the ID of the person that did the checkout so that it can continue finding people that are going to do a checkout. But the add to cart is going to be done immediately. Let's say that we have the case that we have a purchase, and then we have another event which is called upsell purchase. For example, you are sending people to a landing page and you are trying to upsell them something with one-click upsell or whatever. Then we should watch the purchase events and see if we are having several purchases and we're expecting for the delayed reporting to show us more and more. So in my opinion, the checkout is very important, or the step behind your last event is very important. And for that, I will say that I'm having a client right now which is having a SaaS product. And in this product, we are having just the people who go on the site and the people who convert. And I told him that we need to put an event between, because with this event between, I will be able to monitor it more properly. So I cannot optimize properly if I'm not having one event between, so that I can know if people show intent. For example, you go there and you just, I was watching it the other day in one other SaaS product. They have the people who land in, then you create a free account. So this is the second event. And then you go and you buy the product, or you go for a free trial or whatever. So you're having 3 steps. He is having go there, free trial. Okay, it's making the process easier for him. Maybe it's converting better as a landing page. But I can tell you that in terms of Facebook optimization and in the way that we are going to work and having better results, the one step is going to make it better. And I don't think that from the way that I have seen it from the other platform, that's going to make the things worse. Because at the end of the day, it's just make a free account. Now, so the reason that we are flexible with optimization is because the checkouts are being reported in this case, and the last event, which is the optimization event, is not being reported immediately, but needs time because Facebook needs to identify the people that they have done the purchase, and this is taking time. I hope that this makes sense, because it's a very interesting technical topic to analyze. Another thing about checkout, which was very important for me, is that I was having a client in Europe, and we were running ads for United Kingdom. It was going very well, 5-6 ROAS, whatever. And then we were starting running ads for Europe, Netherlands, France, Spain and stuff. And I could see 10 checkouts, 0 purchases, for example. I knew from another client, and this is also compiled, this is also experience that I'm having with working with several clients. For example, I had one client in Canada once that nothing was working. So I told him to try the Quebec area with the French language, because I know that this audience over there is underserved. I hope that all the dropshippers are not going to see it and they're going to start running French ads there. And we will start having sales. And he was having 0.5 ROAS in the whole Canada, but in the Quebec area with a French copy and everything, selling this item that he had, because this audience is super underserved. We were having 1.8, which is actually very good. Sorry, I'm so sorry for that. It's getting cold in Greece. So the situation here with this client, with the customs, is that I realized that the reason that the people are not converting is because they are afraid of the customs for their countries. It's very common in Europe to actually people be afraid of their customs, because a lot of times we're getting parcels that are coming from abroad, and the customs are calling and they say, pay us $100, for example. And sometimes the products are even having lower price from what the customs are asking. This is very common within the European Union, unless if you send from European country to country, which there is no customs, because it's the European Union. So I told them that. And what we have done is that, first of all, we told over there with a banner that we are shipping from EU, so you're not going to have any customs. And boom, it worked immediately. The next day we were having sales and stuff. Of course, it wasn't like United Kingdom, but we were having sales. And look how this general knowledge can actually fix something on Facebook site, which is also proving the thing that I'm saying, that whatever we're doing on Facebook, it's actually influencing just a small percentage of the results. And we're not here to save all the businesses and tell them how to run their whole funnels in order to convert, but we are here to actually tell them what we see from the data and that they should look for it. In that case, I happen to know about this problem from another company that back in the days I didn't know the problem and they found it. So I told them that, guys, look, we have a lot of checkouts, we have a problem, and by their investigation, they have found that the customs is what is causing it. So now it's a knowledge that I acquired. I told to the company, it was an easier process. We fixed it much faster. But at the end of the day, we are not here to fix all of these problems. Of course, our experience with several accounts is helping, but the companies need to have functional landing pages and funnels in order for all of this to work, because the Facebook is just the intermediate that is connecting your product with the client. And of course, all of this data is helping us to understand if it's converting or not. Yeah, we discussed about that. Okay, another small question that I had from a person, it was actually a job post on Upwork that this guy was asking. He was sending traffic to a site, which was a blog, I think, and he was having an affiliate link. And he was wondering if you can actually retarget the people who went to the site and they didn't click on the affiliate link. So most of the people, and this is coming from discussion with some of my students, that they told me that no, you cannot do that, because you can have an event only for the people that they have actually clicked on the affiliate button. By the way, this was a link which I will explain also. You can have the event setup tool, and you can find it on the events manager, and you can go to this link and you can create an event, call it whatever you may want. And if you cannot do something with not the straight way immediately, you can do it with another way, a more clever way. For example, when you will create this event, in order for you to retarget all the people who didn't click it, you just create the custom audience and you exclude it into your ad set, so that and you include all the people who visited the page. So this is the way to do it. So if you cannot do something exactly by just including one audience, you can do it by excluding one audience. Okay, always keep this into your mind in order to find ways of targeting specific people. By the way, in order for you to do that, you need to have enough traffic. So if this person is sending $20, for example, this is not going to work, I'm telling you, because doing things for specific pages or whatever that they don't have enough traffic, they never work on Facebook and they don't have results. Now, let's move to another topic. So I'm having a new client, and he's on the cat niche, and he's having an amazing product, and very clever guy. And the thing is that I was doing his ads and I realized something. So the ultimate goal of its account is going from interest to lookalikes and then go to broad targeting. With him, I realized that I have very good results with interests for cats. I'm having some lower results, but okay results for lookalikes, and I'm struggling a lot with broad targeting. What does this mean? That his pixel is not ready. When you're trying and your broad targeting is not working to the numbers that it should, and it's working with interest and stuff, and I'm not saying to the numbers that you want, I'm saying that if you're getting X amount of sales with broad targeting and interest, with broad interest targeting, then you're running broad targeting and you're not getting these results, then you are running broad targeting and you are not getting these results, it means that your pixel is not trained enough. And what you should do is that you should focus more into your interest targeting and lookalikes until you see that you're going to have some better results. Now, the situation is that I have run some ads. I have seen that some of these interests are working better, so I took them to Crazy Method and so on. and I'm going to stop or minimize my broad targeting efforts. But based on that, I wanted to discuss a little bit about the pixels and how they're getting traded. A lot of times, by observing ad accounts and stuff, you can understand that with 100, 300 sales, you can have your first lookalikes that are going to start working, and then you're just trying to see, and you're doing more ads. In this case, for example, we can understand that we cannot go to broad targeting, but maybe we're going to try in 2-3 months again, and so on, because going to broad targeting is what's going to help you to scale. It's very important for your pixel to do broad targeting and understand that you're a cat owner, for example, and targeting you. So the situation is that I was thinking, and he's having enough data, but he's not ready for broad targeting. And I was thinking and said, why? I have the answer. So I'm having clients also on the Christian niche. All the interests for the Christian niche have been removed. That means that all the companies that they are left with the Christian niche, they can actually now run ads with lookalikes or broad targeting. But the new ones that they're starting, they have to find alternative ways because they cannot start with interests. They have removed all the interests, like 56 or maybe 200 interests. I don't know. I don't remember. I have a list of interests that they are not there anymore. And this is from the changes that happened during the spring, I believe it was March. The thing here is that means that these companies, they're having less competition, because at the end of the day, even if someone is starting now their ads with $50 per day, all of these small ones that they're starting, they're still on the market competing with you, that you're spending 1,000, 2,000. And maybe it's not fair because they're not having a new pixel stuff, but Facebook is going to give them something. And this something, if you put it together, it's actually sales that they are going to be taken from you. So, in my opinion, having a niche that has interests and having a niche that doesn't have interests and you are having a season pixel is completely different, because here we're talking about two season pixels. One that is on the cat niche and one that is on the Christian niche. The one on the Christian niche is better because, and by the way, I'm trying to say that also training a pixel with, it really depends on how broad is the niche. And I can tell you that the Christians are more, and I'm talking about Christians that are going to buy t-shirts and stuff, okay, and to express it, not just being a Christian, being a Christian who is going to buy a t-shirt or whatever. I'm believing that the Christians are more from the people that they have cats. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe they're on the same size, okay, let's say that they're on the same size. But you can see that they have the same data, but you can see that the other pixel is struggling comparing to the pixel that it's on the Christian niche, because it has less competition. There are no new companies that they are starting ads in order to have higher CPMs on the niche. So the companies that they had data, they are now in a better position because they don't have new companies entering and having a new competition. On the other hand, there are so many companies that they are starting now with cut products, and you're having so much competition in the niche, which means that you're going to need more time to train your pixel because of the competition that you're having and the sales that you're losing. But it means also that the broad targeting is going to be a much more difficult target for you to reach. Now that we have analyzed also that, let's go to the topic of Advantage Plus. How much?
53.
It's going to be a huge podcast again. So let's go. So we have, we were talking about the Advantage Plus. The Advantage Plus, you know that I like it. I'm having several videos also with it. The thing here is this. Everybody was accusing Advantage Plus, and even this agency that was working with my client, that you cannot exclude audiences, so this is not a true top of funnel. And Facebook here, I'm putting the print screen, they have one thing that it says, existing customer budget cap. Set a maximum budget percentage to spend on your existing customers. We'll likely spend less than the percentage you've set, but we'll aim to spend no more. So Facebook is hearing here that Advantage Plus is being blamed that it's stealing a lot of sales from the warm traffic audience. So they're having now this checkbox. And actually, they're saying that you should start with 20-30%. It makes total sense because in the common practices, 30% is retargeting, everything else is cold traffic. This is the idea that they have about it. And the thing is that I'm going to try it. I'm going to start with 30% also in several accounts and see. Do I think that this is a good setting? I don't think that there are good and bad settings. I think that maybe even by excluding 30%, you can get more new customers. So it's a very interesting thing. The most interesting thing is that Facebook is listening to the people crying about stuff on the platform, and I can tell you that this was being discussed a lot. That okay, Advantage Plus is good, but it's stealing a lot of sales from the warm traffic. The truth is that not only Advantage Plus, every top of funnel campaign is stealing sales from the warm traffic. I'm sure about it. I have seen it happening, and if we want to take it one step further, if we want to do it, I can tell you that the one-day view attribution event that we have, what is this? We have 7 days click, one-day view. If someone clicks an ad after 7 days, converts, it's going to get it. After 4, 3, 7 days within this period, it's going to attribute the sale. But if someone just sees an ad, 1 second of a video, it's a one-day view. So if he converts the same day, and this is why they don't have it on 7 days, because apparently it would be super powerful. If someone sees a video even for 1 second and then converts because he got an email, for example, then Facebook attributes also the sale. What if, and this is a conspiracy theory, okay? I cannot prove it, but I have seen crazy stuff with email marketing, okay? You're doing email marketing, you know that you're going to have sales, and then you see all of your results bumped, but you also see also your cold traffic ads being bumped, which is, a little bit suspicious of how much Facebook is stealing. And we know that Facebook is stealing sales, but it's stealing a lot. And it's stealing also on the cold traffic, not also on retargeting. So my conspiracy theory on that is that maybe, and I cannot prove it, or I don't believe it 100%, but maybe, let's not exclude it. Someone is converting, Facebook knows it, and they just show them the ad after they have converted for 1 second or whatever. Well, so they go under the category of one-day view and they attribute the sale. Who tells me that this cannot happen, for example, okay? That Facebook is actually getting a sale that wasn't going to get just because after it got the sale, it can identify it and show it to this person, and with the one-day view, it can get the sale. Maybe. Okay, food for thought. So this is an interesting thing about Advantage Plus. I'm going to test it. I'm going to keep you posted on that. I think that it has some value to see if we can actually... I'm against of excluding people from your top of funnel ads. I think that it's not helping at all. But I'm against of doing 100% exclusion. This is actually a good idea. Excluding 30%, 20%. Maybe it's going to be good. So we will see about that, and I will keep you posted. And I hope that they're going to also put that on the other conversion campaigns so that we can test it there. For sure, it looks very interesting, and in that way, I can understand it. Excluding 100% of the audience, I don't understand it, because even if Facebook is stealing the sales, they can still be used for optimization so that you can get more cold traffic sales from people that they haven't been to your funnel. So my idea was that even if it was stealing sales, it's fine. Let it steal sales as long as it's giving me also new clients with that, win-win. But if we're having now 20-30%, I think it's very good to also test it and see how it's going to go. Now, I was discussing with another person the other day, and I was saying here that there's a new feature on Facebook. I'm going to put a print screen. You can just put a text, and there is an AI, most probably, that it's actually putting different variations for you. It's actually very interesting. I have tested it, to be honest with you, with more complex tests and stuff, text and stuff. It doesn't look so good. But if you are lacking ideas and stuff, maybe you can click this magic wand on the right side, and it's going to help you to create some more copies. Just an idea to play a little bit with it if you like Facebook ads the way that I like them, and you can test it. I was discussing with another person also, and he was telling me, why don't we have the option of optimizing for different URLs? And the truth is that we cannot optimize with different, having dynamic ads, instead of having only different pictures, having also different URLs that we can use. You need to understand that whatever we are doing, it's inside the platform. So inside the platform, we're having the images, the text and everything, and then Facebook is seeing that. And with dynamic ads, it creates the best combination. So it cannot evaluate which of these links is the best, because whatever, if a link is good or bad, it's going to be evaluated on the landing page over there from what people do, if they convert or not. So the dynamic ads are working only in terms of the creative and copies and stuff, giving you the best combination within Facebook, where Facebook is controlling all of the events. So putting different copies and put different images is what it can actually test, and different headlines. But putting different URLs to test different landing pages, it's not something that dynamic ads are going to help you. You have to do an A/B test and just see which one of those two is converting better. So let's go to our last 3 print screens. So I got a message, and it's about Q5. I'm going to put the print screen here so that you can see it. Just because I talked too much today, I want to go super fast on Q5. What is Q5? Q5 is a new concept that Facebook representatives are going to push, and it's saying that after the 25th, that everybody is buying like crazy to buy gifts for the people and stuff. From 25 to 31, they call it Q5. Why? Because nobody is doing ads on this period, and they just want to push the concept that you have to do ads because they're losing money on this period. So the Q5 way of thinking is this. You can do ads on the Q5 period, which is from 25 to the 31, because you're having much lower CPMs, because nobody's advertising on the platform. Guess what? You're going to have very low CPMs, but nobody's going to buy anyway. And I'm actually amazed from the ideas that some salespeople have on Facebook, because at the end of the day, we are having these people that they're trying to sell, like the automatic placements that they are good and stuff, but they're making money out of it. I think that saying that because you have lower CPMs, you should advertise, they are even talking about scaling during Q5, whatever. But I think that doing that on purpose just to get more sales and stuff, it's not okay. At the end of the day, Facebook, it's from 25 to 31. Okay, you're going to have less profits for some days. It's fine. Let it be. Just don't push the concept of Q5 and lower CPMs, that it's going to help you a lot, because not a lot of people advertise. Guess what? They're not advertising because there are no sales on this period and nobody is buying. Everybody has bought already on Black Friday, and then they bought for the Christmas period. And pushing the concept that because you're going to have lower CPMs, you're going to have more sales in that period, it's total BS. Okay? And I think it's also super dishonest in terms of actually pushing people to do something, even if you don't believe in it. Okay? Because I don't believe that you're delusional and you believe that people are going to have more sales just because the CPMs are lower on that period. Anyway, it's a clever idea to call it Q5 or whatever, just to do that. But I'm telling you that there are people that they are laughing with you, Facebook, with what you're trying to do over here. Last thing, 2 print screens. The first print screen, it's about my freelance diaries and thing, and it's called Facebook Ads Manager. I'm looking for someone to help me with my pre-made dropshipping store from WordPress. Of course, it's dropshipping. Supposed to make at least 10K per month. I need help with my pixel event setup not working properly. Also, marketing and remarketing. So this person is a person that bought a store most probably, and it's supposed to make 10K. And this goes to our discussion that we have earlier, that you cannot just why are you taking someone from you need to take someone from Facebook, you need to take someone that is going to work on your shop and stuff and see how the pages are actually optimizing. And you cannot just blame the Facebook guy who's doing your ads if your shop is converting or not. How do you know that it's having a 10K per day, per month? Okay, you don't know anything of that. And you're just assuming it because you have seen a stupid course or whatever. So having the mentality that Facebook guys like me or whoever is going to come and they're going to make your sites also work is wrong. Because our work is within the platform and we try to do the best that we can, but your shop also needs to work and your numbers need to work. So when I see these kind of messages, I'm actually worried about these people, because I know that they're going to be so heavily burned from their decisions. Let's go to another print screen here. We have need a Black Friday Facebook ads genius. I have products. I need PPC genius only. Must show me 5 to 10 clients you've done this for. Must have experience. Need your online USA time 16 hours a day. If you are offline, you are fired. Facebook ads experience will proven scalability. So we are having here a person that wants you to just work for him and sleep. You know, this is the new slavery style. So you have to work 16 hours and then go to sleep and then again and again and again. And if you don't do that, you're just fired. I must admit that I'm working 16 hours a day and I'm sleeping 8 hours. Okay, I'm doing it. But who the fuck are you that I'm going to do it for you, first of all? And I'm doing it for all of my clients, second of all. And the third thing is that with the mentality that this person is having, he needs a slave. He doesn't need someone who is going to work with him. So yeah, I found it and I thought that it was very funny. And last print screen, it's a big text and stuff. I'm just going to focus in 2 or 3 things. The fact that it says, show me you are hungry and I will consider hiring you. I'm not hungry. You are hungry because you're having an agency. And this is the problem also with new agency owners that, like the previous guy, that they want to behave like bosses and stuff. And maybe because they have been mistreated in their business from their bosses, or just because they want to be bosses. You cannot have people that you're going to mismanage and actually have a proper working business. And the same thing goes with this guy here that says that he has a new agency staff. Show me that you're hungry. You're the guy that, when you're having an agency, just so that we can be clear, the guy that you're hiring and he's doing your ads, he's the one that he's doing you a favor. Because you're fucking clueless and you have no idea as an agency owner how to run ads, and you just want to pretend that you're the boss. But you're not the one that you're bringing the money to the company. The money to the company is being brought by someone who is actually running the ads for you. So you are the hungry, and you are the one that you're looking for someone to work for you in order for you to make money. So behave better, okay? And don't, all of these 16 years old, 20 years old people and kiddos that they are just starting an agency and they're behaving like they are going to be bosses or the next Donald Trumps that they're going to say, you are fired, you are fired, you are fired. So, and then it says below, I'm a blast to work with. I bet this is like you're going to the bar and you see a beautiful lady and you have all of these red flags, okay, that maybe she's depressed, or maybe she's having psychological issues, or maybe this or that, and red flags are all around, okay? And you're saying, fuck it, I'm going to talk to her. And then 4 months later, you end up in a relationship with her. True story. And of course, not with my wife now. But the fun part is that this podcast is 1 hour long. And I know that my wife and all of my friends are not even watching it, so I can say whatever I want because they're never going to see it. Okay, so it's actually funny. So true story. I once had one girlfriend that I saw all the red flags from the beginning, but I still went to work. Not work. I still went to have a relationship with her. But yeah, it was a very traumatic experience, I guess, for the next 7 months of my life. Anyway, so yeah, that's the situation with the people that they are having agencies and they are treating people like they are slaves or whatever, and they are saying that you are hungry and stuff. And I thought that I wanted to address that because this is what I can tell you all of these things that I'm telling, but at least the 5-10 minutes at the end of this podcast, I want to say some things that they irritate me a lot, and this is one of the things that irritates me. Just so that I can say it again, so that I can be happy with it. Nobody's hungry. You are the hungry one, and you are the one that you're trying to find people to work with you. And if you are an agency owner that doesn't know how to do Facebook ads, then you are a fucking loser, okay? And you're dependent to other people that that you want to make them happy in order for them to make money for you. So don't treat them like an asshole, because you will never find proper people to work with you, and you will never make money, and then you will go back to your working schedule to McDonald's. Okay. That's all I had for you. Technical information, Black Friday, and also agencies, which apparently I love, and I like to comment about all the stupid things that they do. I'm going to say hi with one last coughing, and I will see you in the next podcast. Bye. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.